Alright, okay,
Dear students, in this video we are going to see bacterial growth kinetics. Under this topic we will discuss on measurement of bacterial growth. Number 2, determine the generation time of given bacteria. These are the topics we are going to see. First of all, let us see how we will measure the bacterial growth. You know, the increase in cell size and cell mass during the development of an organism is termed as growth. It is the unique characteristics of all organisms. The organism must require certain basic parameters for their energy requirements and cellular biosynthesis. The growth of the organism is affected by both physical and biochemical factors. Physical factors include, pH, temperature, osmotic pressure, in which an organism is growing. The nutritional factors include carbon source, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, and trace elements provided in the growth medium. Bacteria are unicellular organisms. When bacteria reach a certain size, they divide by binary fission, in which one cell divides into 2 into 4, and continue the process in geometric fashion. The bacterium is then known to be an actively growing phase. To study the bacterial growth population, the bacterium should be inoculated onto the sterile broth and incubated under optimum growth conditions. The bacterium starts utilizing the components of the media, and it will increase its size and cellular mass. The dynamics of the bacterial growth can be studied by plotting graph of cell growth versus time. Here in this slide you are looking at the bacterial growth curve. In this growth curve, on x-axis generally we take, what is that one? Time. We take time on x-axis, and on y-axis we take number of cells in logarithm. This is what we say. And in this growth curve we could see 4 different phases. One is called lag phase, another one is log phase, another one is stationary phase, and depth phase. In lag phase, you cannot able to see any increase in the cell number, and in the log phase you will see increase in the cell number in exponential. In stationary phase you won't see any increase in the cell growth. You can see in depth phase the decline in the cell number. Now each and every time we are telling that the number of cells, so this number of cells should be measured each and every time interval. Then only every half an hour or 1 hour you need to take that reading. Then only you could be able to plot this kind of graph. So now, in order to measure the cell number, bacterial cell number, there are several methods are available. Let us see what are those methods that are available. Now, the methods are going to be, one is going to be microscopic count, another one is plate count, turbiditometric methods, nitrogen content, and dry weight. These are some of the methods that use the bacterial bacteria present in liquid media or that is growing in a solid media. So let us see one by one how they measure the bacterial count and how they involve in constructing a bacterial growth curve. Let us see. And first one is going to be microscopic count. What is microscopic count? Let us see. In microscopic count, this is a direct count. There are two different methods are there. One is direct method, another one is indirect method. What is direct method? Direct method is the one directly you could able to take out the cells from a culture, either it may be liquid culture or solid from the solid media, and simply you could able to measure them. That is direct. If you are doing something else, then it is up to be indirect methods. So let us start with the microscopic count. All that what you need for in order to count a bacterial culture, you need a bacterial culture, that is the first one, and another one is a microscope. You need to count the bacterial cells. Now the thing is, a specific volume of bacterial suspension that is 0.01 ml is placed on microscopic slide with a special grid. So that slide has some special grid. We will discuss that one later. A stain is added to visualize the bacteria. Cells are counted and multiplied by a factor to obtain its concentration. Let us see how that direct microscopic count is performed. Here in this picture, you could able to see Petrov-Hauser is the name of the particular counter by which we could able to measure the number of bacterial cells. Okay, then another point. In this picture, this is the microscopic slide. So now we apply our bacterial sample here, and here you could able to see a grid is appeared. This grid is enlarged here, you could able to see, and here are the cells. These is the cells, and there would be 25 such cells here. 25 is the number of cells would be there, and each one in the 25 is again divided into 16 cells. And now this in this area we will measure the number of what is that one bacteria. When you count the number of bacteria, here you could able to see in this picture, you could able to see there are 12 cells are present here. 12 cells are present in this counter, and 12 cells multiplied by 25 log squares. So, and then you need to add 50,000 to it, 50,000. Then you will get a number of bacteria. This is the number of bacteria present in 1 ml, that is 1 milliliter. And this is the technique. This is the thing, the plate that we use to count the bacteria is known as Petrov-Hauser. By this way, we could able to count the bacterial cells, and directly you could able to take out the cells, and you could able to measure that one using 40x under the microscope. Then you could able to count the number of bacteria present in a single cell, and a number of cells into 25 into 50,000. Then you will get directly the number of bacteria present in it. So you need to take the sample every half an hour or 1 hour from the bacterial culture. And another one is going to be plate count. What is the plate count? This is another very important thing. This plate, most frequently used method for measuring bacterial populations. In every microbiology lab, we used to do this kind of bacterial count. And in order to do this bacterial count, we need what is that one? Serial dilutions. Let us see how this serial dilution is performed. Then we could able to know how this plate method is performed. Let us see that. This is how we measure, how we do the serial dilution. First, you need to take a sample each every half an hour or 1 hour from the growth medium. This is your growth medium. This is your growth medium where bacteria is growing, and from this growth medium you need to take 1 ml out of it. You need to take 1 ml out of it. By taking 1 ml, what you need to do, you need to take a what is that one, you need to take a what is that one, test tube which is having 9 ml of broth, and 9 ml of broth plus 1 ml of what is that one, growing medium. Then you need to add this one to it. So that dilution is said to be 1 by 10, that is 10 to the power of minus 1. That is said to be 10 to the power of minus 1. Then what you do is you take 1 ml from here and then add to the another test tube which is also having 9 ml of broth. Then the dilution will be 10 to the power of minus 2. And likewise simultaneously you need to add one to another 1 ml. You take 1 ml out from each and every test tube and you add to the other one. So in this way, here you will get how many? Almost you got 6 test tubes. And the dilution, when you observe, this is 10 to the power of minus 1, 10 to the power of minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5 and minus 6. Now what you got to do? So here you first take this 10 to the power of minus 1 tube and you inoculate this one with the onto a Petri plate. Here also you do for each and every dilution. Then what you will get after 1 or 2 days, 24 hours or 2 days, the colonies will develop. So you could see the colonies here that is developed. These are nothing but bacterial colonies. So now you will count the bacterial colonies. Now for example, here a colony, here you could able to see in this plate at 10 to the power of minus 3, 159 colonies was identified. And what is the dilution factor? 10 to the power of 3. And when you count and you add 159 into 10 to the power 3, then you will get the number of bacteria present per ml. Directly you will get. And this is what is called serial dilution. This is colony forming units. You could get colony forming units per milliliter of original sample. And now this is serial dilution, and this method can be done in 2 different ways. One is that pour plate method, another one is going to be spread plate method. How will we do that one? Pour plate method, how will we do that one? We will observe that one with a simple diagram that is present in the next slide. So this is called pour plate method, and this is going to be this is what pour plate method, and this is going to be the spread plate method. Let us see one by one how that plating is method is performing here. And now what is happening here? First, in this method, this is pour plate method. First we take, what is that one, we take, this is the bacterial dilution. We take 1 ml or 0.1 ml and directly we put that one in a Petri plate, empty plate. We put that one in an empty plate. Then later what we do, we add melted agar medium. We add melted agar medium to what? To the to the bacterial solution. Then we will to mix. So the medium and the bacterial inoculum both are mixed thoroughly, and after 1 or 2 days they develop colonies here. So you could able to see these are the colonies that are produced. There is another way in getting these colonies. In another way, that is called spread plate method. In this method, bacterial solution is taken, and that solution is kept on, inoculate on solid medium. That means a petri plate where agar medium is already been present, and then what you do, you spread thoroughly this bacterial inoculum onto the plate, and after 1 or 2 days this forms colonies. You could able to clearly observe the bacterial colonies here. This is the bacterial colony. So there are two different methodologies there by which you could able to perform your serial dilution. One is by pour plate method, or another one is what is that another method? Spread plate method. Two different methods are there, by which finally you will get what is that one? Bacterial colonies. All that you need to do is you pick one particular dilution, and after taking that dilution you multiply that one with the number of colonies present in the petri plate, and you will get CFU, colony forming units. That is the another method we have seen. So these both are what? Direct methods. And now we are going to see another method, that is an indirect method. Very, very important method. This is going to be an indirect method called turbidity method. This is the method called turbidity. You know, when a bacteria grows in a particular medium, it forms a turbid solution. A bacteria multiply in media, it becomes turbid. We use, what is that one important one? We use a spectrophotometer. You know what is a spectrophotometer? A spectrophotometer works on Beer-Lambert's law principle. You might have heard that principle before. There is two parameters there. One is transmittance and another one is absorbance. So percentage transmittance or absorbance both can be determined by using this spectrophotometer. We use 650 nanometers in order to count this bacteria. So using this spectrophotometer. So now, then by using this spectrophotometer, we will determine the concentration of this particular bacteria. Now, how will we do this experiment? First, you need to take an spectrophotometer, and this is blank, where no bacterial solution is present, only water is present here, and this is the spectrophotometer. It gives the reading absorbance almost 0. Why it is 0? Because they are using only water here, that is spectrophotometer is 0. And then we kept here in the spectrophotometer cuvette, inside the cuvette we kept bacterial suspension. When we kept bacterial suspension, the spectrophotometer gives an absorbance reading at 650 nanometers as some value. This is the value given by the spectrometer, and that reading is taken by the the reading is taken, noted down, and we will take these kind of readings every half an hour or 1 hour. So, and this is an indirect method. Why this turbiditometry is an indirect method? We are not directly measuring the cell number of the bacteria as we performed in the earlier slides, but here we are taking this bacterial solutions and we allowing to pass the light onto it, and we are measuring its optical density, that is OD. OD means optical density, and also known as absorbance. We are measuring absorbance. That is why it is a indirect method. And another one is going to be there are another methods as well there. One is going to be metabolic. One is going to be metabolic activity. This is somewhat different. And dry weight methods. In dry weight methods, bacteria or fungi in liquid media are centrifuged. Do you know what is centrifuge? For example, this is the solution, and when you apply centrifugal force, then what happened? All the contents of bacteria pelleted at the bottom, that is collected finally, resulting a cell pellet is weighed, and they determine the what is that one, dry weight. And another method in metabolic activity, bacteria multiply in a media. They produce certain products such as carbon dioxide, some acids, and they measure these acids or carbon dioxide, so that they could able to determine how much the amount of bacteria present in the culture. This is another method, that is indirect method. So far we have seen different methods, isn't it? These are all methods used for measurement of bacteria. And this is the graph. Can you remember what this graph is like? This is our old graph. This is our old graph, bacterial growth curve. So in y-axis, what is there? Log of bacteria in number per ml, and the time, that is what he has taken 0, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90, 120, 150, 180 minutes. And remember 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, what these are? These are optical density or absorbance. So it is a turbiditometric experiment. So at 650 nanometers, by using a colorimeter, which measures the color turbidity of the bacteria, so we take the readings, that is 0.1, 0.2, these are the readings of the bacteria. So now, so by this method, you just observe here. So here at 60 minutes, the reading is 0.2. At 90 minutes, you could also observe the reading is 0.4. What happened? What is the difference between 60 and 90 minutes? The population is double. The population is double. This double is called as generation time. Population is doubling. It's called generation time. How will we determine? Time in minutes to obtain 0.4, time in minute minus time in minutes to obtain the absorbance at 0.2. This gives the generation time, isn't it? And let us move on to the another one, and let us move on to the another important aspect, that is bacterial kinetics. In bacterial kinetics, you see, for example, you inoculate the bacteria, and you are in a fresh medium, and then what is the number of bacteria? Just think there is only one bacteria present in it. Only one bacteria is present in it. And then what happened? The bacteria becomes 2. That means the size of the population is increasing. And later what happened? Again the size of the population is again increasing. And this is what? Generation. N. Generation is indicated by N. The first bacteria has 0 generation. And when it is double, the generation is 1. When it is 4 bacteria, when this count is 4, this is second generation bacteria. Third generation, fourth generation. This is generations. So finally we get N generations. And this is number of bacteria. And this can be represented here 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, that is 4, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4. You could also, this is also increasing a geometric progression that represents 2 to the power n. By observing this n and 2 to the power n, so we could able to formulate this with, what is that one? This is the formulation. N T is equal to n naught into 2 to the power n. Nt is equal to n naught into 2 to the power n. What is n naught? N naught is the initial population number. This is the initial population number. Then what is Nt? Population at time t. You inoculated first with one bacteria. That bacteria after t time, it increased to 8, 16, 32, so on and so forth. That is theta. And what is this n? The n is going to be number of generations. in t time. So number of the to the power n we have already seen. N is what? Number of generations. N is number of generation. T is population at a t time. N naught is equal to initial population n naught, and n small n is number of generations in t time. This is the formula. This is our formula for the bacterial growth. This is the first formula we have seen, and another one. This formula can be modified a little bit. This formula can be modified. How? So by taking logarithm on both sides, we can write the same formula like this. Log nt is equal to log n naught plus n log 2, and therefore n is equal to log nt minus log n naught by log 2, and log 2 is the value of log 2 is 0.3010. So we could write n is equal to log nt minus log n naught by 0.3010. This is our second equation. And now very important thing, we got n. In the previous slide we got n. N is what? Log nt minus log n naught by log 2. That is what we have seen. And now here we are going to see another important term. The growth rate can be expressed in terms of mean growth rate. Very important. Mean growth rate. What is this one? Mean growth rate constant. That is known as K. Mean growth rate constant. What is mean growth rate constant indicate? The number of generations per unit time, that is K. K is equal to n by t. N is what? Number of generations per t. T means time. Number of generations per time in a specified time is said to be mean growth rate constant. That is going to be K. Now another thing. Now K can be written like this. Log nt minus log n naught by, this is log 2, 0.3010 into t. That is our third expression, isn't it? And another one. Let us move on to the another one. Another one is going to be very interesting thing here. Mean generation time. Very important. Mean generation time or mean doubling time, also known as small g, or sometimes it's also shown as capital G. So what is this mean doubling time? Doubling means if a bacterial population doubles, the time taken to double is called doubling time. Mean doubling time. Mean doubling time. Now the mean doubling time is taken as G. Therefore, how can we write nt? Nt means what? Population at a t time becomes what? 2n naught. 2n naught means the n naught means initial population. 2 into n naught means doubling of the initial population. That is after n time. So double the would be the number, isn't it? So nt is equal to n naught. So now this is our fourth equation. Substituting the fourth equation in the third equation, what we will get? We already know K is equal to log nt minus log n naught by log 2 into t. That is what we need. Now we put this in nt, we put 2n naught, then that is K is equal to log 2n naught minus log n naught by 0.3010 into t, or log 2 into t. That is, now it becomes K. Okay then. So now if you take out this log 2, so then the equation becomes log 2 plus log n naught minus log n naught by 0.3010. Now what will happen? K is equal to 1 by G. Why 1 by G? T nothing but doubling time. It doubles. That is what T is equal to G. Now K becomes what? 1 by G. K becomes 1 by G. So now K is what? K is equal to 1 by G. G is equal to 1 by K. That is generation time is G is equal to 1 by K. So what we have seen? What we have seen in the earlier? What is K? We have written as N by K written as N by T. K is written as N by T. Now G is equal to 1 by K. Then G is equal to T by N. Now G is equal to T by N. So we will see something in the next slide. This is the simple example, the simple thing. What is the generation time of a bacterial population that increases from 10,000 cells to 10 to the power 7, 1 crore cells in 4 hours of growth? How will you need to calculate what? Generation time. You know that how to calculate this generation time. G is equal to 1 by K. You know very well. So K is equal to N by T. So N by T. Then G, you know G is equal to, how you need to write? T by N. As it is, G is equal to 1 by K. That is G now becomes T by N. So by using this formula, we simply incorporate the values by subtracting 10 to the power of 4, 10 to the power of 7 to 10 to the power of 4. You will get 10 power 3. You will get 3 here, 3 here, and you multiply 1 by 1 by how much? 0.3010 is 3.3. So then here 240 minutes means 4 hours. So finally the generation time is 24 minutes. So with that we come to an end of this lesson. So we hope you are all doing well. Thank you.